So what you'll hear going over me just in a second is the CTA train here in Chicago. So Lake Street's one of the better, I guess, more well-known train lines. It's known for connecting the brown line, or no, the green line and the pink line. And then a few stops up here. There's a bunch of stops that connect all over the city. So you have like the red line stop, the brown line stop, the green line takes you all over around the city. It does like a loop around the Chicago loop. I think also the orange line does the exact same thing. But yeah, different ways of getting all around the city, making it convenient for people. You know, people who live in Chicago do a lot of walking. So whenever there's a way to kind of get off your feet for a minute, we like to take advantage of it every now and then. Up here to the left and to the right, you'll see the Chicago River. Might have there you go, you can kind of see the view down that way off to my left. If you look over there to the right, there's the north end of that as well. Go ahead and stop here. So yeah, like one more block that way, we run into the Brown Line stop, and the Brown Line stop actually will take you all the way down Wells and then up through towards like Lincoln Park area. So it's a really convenient way of getting kind of towards the more west side of the north end of the city. If you want to take the red line, it's good for kind of connecting you towards a little bit more towards the eastern side of the city, closer towards the lake. But for today, we don't have to worry about that. Beautiful morning. It's a little chilly, but that's why we got the gear. The world famous merchandise mart. At one point, it used to be one of the biggest buildings in the world by size. I think it still takes up like 2 or 3 square blocks, but it's over 1 million square feet. So very interesting building, very cool. We're kind of right in between the time when, you know, it's nice out in the morning, nice enough to just like kind of roll out of bed and go for a walk, versus like needing to get ready and put on all your winter gear and prep for the cold weather. But you can see obviously there it's 50 degrees out this morning, which is nice. It's kind of rare for a November morning, but go ahead and take that since there's no one there. These famous buildings here, they're known as the corn cobs. Funny enough, they're kind of like an eyesore for people who live in Chicago, or kind of always taken back by how ugly the architecture is and how much it doesn't fit into all the other buildings downtown, but they're kind of unique. They're cool. And obviously we have Trump Tower, pretty famous building. Chicago Theater there. I think what we're going to do is take this around to Michigan Ave. So when a lot of people come to Chicago, they mostly hit like Millennium Park, which is where you'll find the Bean. They'll do all the shopping up and down Michigan Ave, maybe even jump over towards like Rush Street. Rush Street's known for having pretty good brunch spots and dinner spots. Also very well known for some of its luxury shops. You can find, I think, a Louis Vuitton store, a Gucci store. So some of the higher end shopping you can find over on Rush Street, which is where a lot of tourists find themselves. It's a great area, very fun. But my whole goal of this is to kind of explore parts of the city that people might not get to see, and I don't know, kind of combine it with parts that might make make the ride feel familiar to them, going up and down maybe some of the more popular areas that people go. So we're gonna hang a left here on Michigan Ave. We've got the Chicago Blackhawk store over to my right. And now we're crossing over the bridge here, over the Chicago River on Michigan Ave. We're heading north towards Lake Michigan up here and the Bend. It's such a beautiful morning. It's a little windy out, but not too bad. Not too bad. I hardly ever come over here. You know what's funny is like tourists that come and visit Chicago, they think that like this is like the happening spot. And truthfully, people that live in Chicago hardly ever come over to this area. We typically like to, once we find our neighborhood, Chicago is really well known for having multiple different neighborhoods within the city, but throughout the city. And all the neighborhoods are known for kind of their own thing. So like some of the more well-known neighborhoods you could find around here that people, a lot of people live in. You have Lincoln Park, Wicker Park, West Loop, Old Town, Streeterville, Gold Coast, South Loop. You just have a lot of like little neighborhood pockets throughout the city. And yeah, so a lot of the locals that live around or down in Chicago, yeah, we don't often come over here and explore. We often save that time for when we have friends and family that come and visit and they want to do some of the touristy stuff. So we come and do that with them, obviously. But yeah, but it's still fun to come down and explore. This is the Starbucks Roastery. They've been popping up around some of the bigger cities recently, and it's a fun place to go hang out. So we're still cruising down Michigan Ave, heading north towards like the Lincoln Park area. That's the world famous water tower. It's pretty high up there, as you can see. It's a very famous building. It's like, I think it's 60% like business and then 40% shopping, or not 40% shopping, 40% residential. Towards the top, they have apartments and condo buildings. Funny enough, if anybody's into comedy, well, not funny enough, but if anybody's into comedy, Chris Farley used to live in there, along with a bunch of other famous people. But Chris Farley, obviously well known for his acting and his comedy, his movies with, Adam Sandler and I can't remember the other guy's name. Funny guy. David Spade, that's what I'm thinking of, yeah. But unfortunately he passed away in that building, I think back maybe in like the late 90s or early 2000s, so. I don't really have a route mapped out for this. I'm kind of just free-for-alling it, just riding and seeing where I end up. You can see a lot of people are out kind of walking around, getting their morning started, which is typical for a Saturday morning, and honestly year-round here. People come and visit Chicago, and sometimes they come and visit in the winter and they see how cold it is here, but for us, we kind of, I don't know. We kind of know what to prep for, so we just get up and dress for the weather, and this is it through here. I love all these different tunnels. As you can see above this, there's the lake. So we're going under this tunnel now to go bike along the Lakeshore Trail, and then we're gonna hop off up here towards more towards like Lincoln Park area. One of the things Chicago's known for is like all of the really cool wall art. So they'll have like local Chicago artists come down and do some murals and stuff, which is really cool. I always enjoy seeing that. It's pretty unique to Chicago. I mean, you have like graffiti and stuff places in other cities and whatnot, but one thing Chicago really prides themselves on is being able to showcase their artists' work, and they do it in a kind of a cool fashion and whatnot. And they even say from time to time now when they go to, oh wow, that's new. Is that new? Yeah, that's new. Let's go check it out. I've never seen that before. Is that new, or did I just always miss that? Anyways, they say that whenever they go to develop land or certain parts of Lincoln Park now, they'll run into some of those old caskets and bodies and whatnot. And there was actually, back when there were more people buried here before they removed them and took them into another area, there was a lot of concern because the lake was so close, and at that time they didn't have the infrastructure built up to kind of help protect some of the water from getting over to this area. So they were afraid they would have kind of a Louisiana situation where the bodies would kind of get dug up naturally by the water and kind of just float around. So that was also another one of the reasons for removing some of those, or a majority of those bodies, and taking them somewhere else. So this over here is Lincoln Park Zoo. Oh, a lot of speed bumps, a lot of speed bumps. I guess this is probably like the worst way I could have gone because there's nothing to see over here, and Lincoln Park is absolutely beautiful. So I will circle around back up here by this light, I believe, or unless there's a place to kind of cut in sooner than that. I think so. But yeah. And let me just squeeze right past you. Alright. Alright. I think we'll actually go through here. Maybe. I don't know. Let's just go through over here. Obviously, this is a very popular area for people to come out and like exercise and take a morning walk. Why don't we do a little off-roading here? But Lincoln Park's one of my favorite areas. It's honestly one of the most beautiful parts of Chicago. It can be described as kind of like a bubble because a lot of the stuff, the bad stuff that Chicago is known for that happens in other areas of the city it doesn't really happen in this area. It's generally like a very safe area, so. We gotta get to the street because I do not like riding on the sidewalk too much, and I always feel bad when people are nice enough to step aside and let me go through because they see my bike and my helmet and they're like, what the hell is this guy doing on the sidewalk? So back on the street we go. Yeah, let's hang out right here. God, I love this area. This is so beautiful, and especially on a nice fall morning, makes for a fun ride. Big dog neighborhood, obviously. You can see people with their dogs, and every time I come over here, it makes me kind of want to get a dog, so. Gosh. I'm also always amazed at like some of the homes over here. Like, let's go down here, for instance. Like, look at this. Like, we're talking millions of dollars here. There's a lot of money in Lincoln Park. You could find condos and apartments. You can find 1 or 2 bedroom condos and apartments, along with 1 or 2 bathrooms. But the median home price in Lincoln Park is, I'd probably say $500,000, probably, maybe even a little bit more than that. So it's a very expensive area. Obviously, there's a little bit for everybody. Not everybody's going to go right into, buying a multi-million-dollar house, and honestly, that's not even attainable for most people. So, but luckily they have, nice condos and whatnot that if you really want to live in the area, you have that option. Let's go down here. Yeah, you have that option. So you'll see a lot of, even a lot of the tri-level homes. They're actually just single-story apartments on each level. So what you'll see, like, what you think is like this huge house is actually 3 individual units. A lot of decorations going on, which is fun. Oh, the sunrise looks great. Alright, so let's go, which is nice. Good little tunnel. I can ride my bike with no handlebars. No handlebars. Oh, this guy's a nice guy. He's waiting for all the birds. Oh, did he just hit one of his buddies? Oh, man down, man down. Damn. All right. We had a little bit of a pit stop there, but we're good now. Had to update my camera. Man, this is just so beautiful in the fall. One of my favorite things about the lakefront trail here is that in the summertime, all of those docks are full of boats. Chicago's a big boating city, which a lot of people, I guess, might not think. But during the summers, we have like a solid 4 or 5 months of nice weather, so people take advantage of it. You can even see a couple of boats still tucked away over there, so they're a little late on getting those out. Ooh, man, that water's got to be cold. Oh, is this biking? Oh, shit. Sometimes the lines here are tough. You don't actually know where you're at. Change it up on you. Ooh. It is a good tennis morning. I'm surprised they still have the nets up. Usually, all the nets are taken down on the tennis courts by now because they don't want the nets to corrode from the weather. all the Wrigley. Ooh, that's a fun golf course. It'd be a cold morning for a golf morning though. Cold morning for golf. Doggy. Lots of people out running this morning, which is typical for a Saturday morning. I'm actually running a 10K tomorrow, so excited about that. I've never run an official race before. I ran track and field maybe when I was in high school, but it's been a long time. Come around on the inside. If anything, the Lakefront Trail is just a solid riding trail. Like, you can pretty much just cruise. I will say, right now, it is way less populated than it typically is on like a summer Saturday morning. On like a nice Saturday morning in the summer, this is, I mean, it's tough to even have enough clearance to get after it. Tons and tons and tons of people. But on a day like today, creates a nice path to kind of rip around a little bit. 16 miles an hour. We're cruising. I think I'm gonna make a U-turn and kind of just head back towards civilization. All right, there we go. Some of these people have to be cold. I'm wearing an extremely thick hoodie, insulated pants, and a winter coat, along with a full face helmet and goggles to protect my eyes from debris or wind or anything that could come up. And even I'm chilly. I mean, I know I'm on a bike, so it makes it even a little bit colder, but a tank top and shorts on a day like today would be ice cold. And it's so close to the road that, I don't know, it's just kind of fun to watch traffic go by as you're ripping around on the trail. You never know what you're gonna see. Every time I come out here and I think I've seen everything that I could possibly see, I end up seeing something else. Whether it's a car crash or people ripping as fast as they can on the bike path when it's full of people, or you just never know what you're gonna see. When I tapped the brake coming around that corner, my back tire kind of kicked out a little bit. As you can see, it's a little wet right now. The pavement's a little wet. and it did get down to the mid 30s last night, so I want to pay attention for potential ice or anything like that. Not that I think we would have it this soon yet, but you really never know, and especially this close to the lake, it gets even colder than what the temperature says on the map, so you really have to watch out and pay attention and make sure you don't hit anything slick that can send you into the abyss. Traffic, good. Ooh, and another thing is the salt. I don't know if you just saw the salt, like you can see it right here. They put salt down on the trails, which is great because in the winter there are still a lot of people, including myself, who ride on a regular basis. But if you're not paying attention, that salt can be really slick, and before you know it, you've kind of bottomed out and you're on your ass. Such a good sunrise this morning, overlooking the city. Getting a lot of cars, a lot of people out this morning. Some of the architecture too in Lincoln Park, Lakeview area is just unreal. Even at like some of the tops of these buildings, like the penthouses, you can just tell are on another level of what us normal people experience on a normal day here. Stretches this morning. One of the things you always have to watch out for is runners / bikers crossing into other people's lanes, because you see, like right here, that's a path to get onto the other side of Lakeshore Drive. So if you're not familiar with all the biking and the runners and the walking that goes on the trail, people can just dart out in front of you without really giving you much heads up, and it makes it tough, and kind of have to slam on your brakes last minute or try to dodge them on a busy summer day, summer morning, summer afternoon, when there's, oh, like this lady right here, she's not used to that. She's got her headphones on and wasn't paying attention. You just never know. Especially on a nice summer day when this place is packed and there are so many people out here. It's dangerous for bikers to go super fast just because you don't know what's going to happen, and you really have to ride defensively. And you almost have to think of yourself as you have a responsibility when riding not to be a dummy and rip around, and because you can really hurt people, and nobody really means any harm in anything, but if people are visiting from out of town and they've never even experienced the lakefront trail before, and they jump on just to go for a little walk, and then you're biking doing 20-30 miles an hour when I'm doing 22, 23 right now, and I feel like I'm going pretty good, but there's no way I would be doing this speed if it was a busy day. You just have to use your judgment. Great view of the city skyline. Riding north on the lakefront trail is one of my favorites, just because you get a little bit of everything. You get the traffic, you get the people, the runners, the boats, the harbor, some of the nice condos and apartment buildings in Lincoln Park, and you get the beautiful lakefront trail and lakeshore view. Looks like there's even a boat out there right now. And off in the distance, you can see Navy Pier way up there with the waterfront tower that I pointed out to you guys earlier when we were riding up Michigan Ave. So we made quite a leeway on territory that we've covered so far. But right at that point in the season where the leaves are starting to turn and fall, and Saturday mornings are a little bit cooler than they are in the summertime. but I don't know. I don't know if I can call myself a Chicagoan yet. I've only been here for 2 years, but I love this time of year. It kind of gives you that extra wild hair when you get up in the morning and get a good workout in, and then you can hit the trails for a fun bike ride, which is what I love doing and what I'm doing now. I might take the bridge back over into Lincoln Park and take a different way back through the city, just so we're not seeing the exact same things that we've already seen. I don't think I've passed that trail. Did I pass that trail? I don't think I've passed it yet. Yeah, I don't think I've passed it. Unless... Oh no, actually, I might have passed it. Did I pass it? I don't know. Because there's the Ferris wheel that I've never seen in Lincoln Park, but I'll be damned if it doesn't look like it's been there for a while. And I'm in Lincoln Park multiple times a week, but I've never noticed that before, so I don't know if that's new or what. Okay, I can see the bridge up here, we're good. I could smell the water, and it's like a crisp lake breeze that's just coming off the lake right now, and it just wakes you up with a beautiful sunrise, and all the cars. A lot of people don't realize that Chicago has and is kind of known for the beaches. Even though this is Lake Michigan, you can tell if you look out, you can't see the other side of it. I mean, it looks like the ocean. And in the summertime, it honestly looks like some coastal seaside town in Florida or something. I mean, people come out in waves, no pun intended, and pack and spend an entire day, an entire weekend out on the water. You can see all the sand that they've got. I don't know if they barricaded that up for like protects from the water, or if that's just for fun. I'm not sure. Ooh, made it with the finesse. Oh. This is always a cool view. Just riding over this and seeing the traffic in the city skyline. And we're going back into Lincoln Park. I've always wanted to go play, like, I know they do flag football, like intramural sports, like flag football and stuff over here in the soccer field. But I've always wanted to go over there and just mess around. Or even the basketball court behind it and shoot baskets. Pretty fun. We got some drills going on here. I wonder what's with this big limit on this. Has anybody ever noticed that? Because I don't believe I have. Huh. Interesting. Yeah, this bike is great, other than the fact that it just doesn't have a suspension, and anytime you hit a bump, you feel it throughout your entire body. And I almost think sometimes I'm getting a concussion sometimes with the amount of potholes and bumps and stuff in the road here. There's one thing about the Department of Transportation here in Illinois and Chicago is the fact that they have some of the worst roads that you can possibly imagine. And there's bumps and stuff everywhere. What's up, man? And everybody's super cool here. which is awesome. Like, there's so many people just doing their own thing, minding their own business, that when other people see other people doing the same thing, it's kind of just like a nod to it. People embrace everybody. Could take this back. Again, Chicago's huge on like early morning walks, like going to just getting up and going on a walk, taking your dog out, exploring the neighborhoods in the morning. As you can tell, it's just beautiful here in fall time. Yeah, there's so much money, and all the architecture is beautiful. This looks like a really cool church, like an old church. Doing some renovations on it, looks like. Still decorated for the fall with pumpkins and everything, which is cool. I don't know if it's getting colder as the morning goes on, or if it's just me, but I'm really out here for the video stuff, because boy, am I cold. Appreciate it. It's great when people are cool bikers here. Like, stuff like that just makes biking around the city so much more convenient and easy. Granted, you do have to pay attention to crazy drivers, because there are a lot of times that I have to be either pretty defensive or definitely keep my head on a swivel and make sure that I'm paying attention to everyone and everything that's going on, just because, again, people who are not from Chicago aren't used to, you know, not only do you have a city that's full of cars and people walking everywhere, but then you also have now like bikers and other things to look out for, people on scooters. So people aren't, you know, familiar with having all that to pay attention to, and it just adds another layer of distraction. So as a biker and as somebody who values safety, I personally try to take an extra step to pay attention and make sure that I'm aware of what's going on around me, so I can get out of any situation that doesn't seem safe. Or, like, you gotta pay attention to people like this who just walk right out in front of you and you have a green light. This is another like nice park within the city. It's not super big, but it's big enough that people like to go and hang out in the mornings and take their dog for a walk. I'm gonna go ahead and go over here on the right side. I like to personally be on the right side of the road. Then I can kind of like own my lane. Especially, Chicago has one of the worst bike infrastructures that I think I've ever seen in a city. With the amount of traffic and stuff that goes on here, there's really no great place for bikers to bike other than the streets. And on a lot of streets they do have bike lanes, but a bike lane doesn't really do anything. It's not protecting you from anything. What we really need is like elevated biking, you know, something like the Lakefront Trail that goes all throughout the city for walkers and bikers, so we're not even on the same path as the drivers. Just makes it more safe. Like, I personally don't ride around at night because of the safety of it. You don't know what you're going to run into. People are out having a good time drinking late at night, and or they've been driving all day, they're just got into the city, ready to get to the hotel and crash, and they're just not paying attention. So yeah, I try to stay. That's a sick jersey, dude. You never see those jerseys. That hockey team is an old United States Hockey League team that was in Indianapolis. Funny enough, I grew up there and played hockey growing up and was a stick boy for that hockey team. So the team ended up folding back in like 2014, and yeah, they're no longer a team anymore. But you don't often see you don't see United States Hockey League jerseys ever, and you never see Indiana Ice jerseys. So shout out to the Indiana Ice. What a cool thing to see on a Saturday morning. Speaking of hockey, big Chicago Blackhawks fan. The Blackhawks, they're having a rough year. They've had a rough few years, to say the least. We lost our captain. We lost some of our other big players. Jonathan, like that guy. People like that guy. That's kind of why I like having a GoPro on, because if I'm ever hit or anything like that, I have it on camera. And people like that guy make riding around downtown like not fun. But anyways, the Blackhawks are off to a rough season. They've had a rough couple of goes. They lost their captain, Jonathan Toews. They lost Patrick Kane, Alex DeBrincat. Lost a bunch of key guys that I thought, obviously Toews and Kane, they're coming to the end of their career. DeBrincat, I don't know why we got rid of him. He's insanely good, and Detroit ended up getting a great deal with him. So anyways, we got the first round pick. We got Connor Bedard, and we'll see. I don't know. We'll see what happens. A lot of times in the mornings, people don't realize that Chicago takes their parking and their parking violations seriously. So you'll often see tow trucks and stuff lined up either in the mornings or late at night, right after some of the parking signs times either expire or they have their allotted time slots for free parking or whatnot. But then right as that time limit starts to expire or is about to expire, the tow trucks are waiting. The meter people, they're waiting to write you a ticket or to tow you. So gotta always pay attention. We've kind of come full circle. So there was a building that I mentioned earlier, which is that building right there. It was once one of the biggest buildings in the world by size, a little over 1 million square feet. And I mentioned that it goes a couple blocks long. This is the back end of it, and you can see how far down it goes, all the way down there. It's the Merchandise Mart. Huge building, very industrial, and well known for like housing, appliances, and some of Chicago's biggest companies operate out of there. So a lot going on in there. This place called Highline, that's actually a great lunch spot in the city. A lot of people will head over there during lunchtime, especially if you're having client meetings or anything like that. People will head over there and take their meetings and go to lunch, and great, fantastic chicken sandwich or Southwest salad. If you're into either one of those, I highly recommend. And what you're hearing going over us now is either the brown line or the purple line. This line will take you around the city. It kind of does an entire loop around and goes up north towards Lincoln Park, like I mentioned earlier. But yeah, it's just kind of fun to ride through here on an early Saturday morning. You know, oh, I just had water drip in my mouth. I don't know how it dripped in my mouth. I have a full face helmet on, but something definitely dripped in my mouth. So where we're at now is like the theater district in Chicago. You can see the Cadillac Palace Theater there. I believe there's another theater down. Yeah, the Nylander down there, and then I think there might be another one even a little bit west of here. But Chicago's huge on the arts. The theater, they have a lot of great theater shows. It's fun just to, even if it's not really your thing, it's fun to just explore and take it in. I've been a few times and always have a great time. Oh, we got the green light. Oh! Honestly, I could have just taken that road back, but eh. Is it basement parking? Sometimes it's fun to find parking garages that go up. Oh, where does this go? What do we got going on here? Here's what I meant. You never know what you're gonna see. So we've got a guy in a wheelchair, looks like with a scarf on the top, and he's just hanging out in the lane, which is obviously very dangerous. If somebody's coming through here, they hang a right-hand turn, they don't see him. He's kind of blends in with the road, like the wheelchair is black and everything, so you just can't really see him. Pretty dangerous, but again, stuff you think you've seen it all, and then you run into certain things, and you're like, what's going on? Arby's. I haven't seen Arby's in a long time. Ooh, it might be kind of fun to ride up that. I don't know what that is, but it looks pretty sweet. Should we do it? Why not? Ooh, this is gonna be fun. This is the great thing about having an electric bike in the city. Oh, this might be me right here. Is you can really just go explore and find cool stuff. Huh. Interesting. Also, my brakes sound horrible, but I promise they're really good. This would be a perfect spot to like hang out when a train comes by, so you guys can see what I'm talking about, in case you've never experienced Chicago Transit Authority. But yeah, this is a cool vantage point. Oh yeah, and if we look straight up, you can see the Sears Tower right there. So with the 2 points at the top there, the 2 white points, that's the Sears Tower. And on the other side of it, at the very top, they have these glass boxes that people can pay and go up in. I think they call it the Sky Deck. So it's a pretty cool little thing they have there. Well. Oh,
I think we're gonna get lucky. There's a CTA train coming right there, and that's a stop to pick people up. But we'll get a super up close and personal look at the train. Sometimes the trains are just fun to just ride on, because every time you get on one of those, you see something. It doesn't matter what you see, you know what I mean? Like, you just see something, and it's a good way to just take a ride around the city and go explore. But yeah, here we go. This is the Midway Orange Line. And the reason why we call them the L is because all the tracks are elevated, so they're all exposed except for parts of the Red Line. It does go underground and is more like subway-esque as you get further north and out of the city. But yeah, all the tracks are exposed and they're elevated and raised and outdoor. So even in the winter when you're standing out there and waiting, you're kind of out in the elements. It gets pretty cold, but no, it was cool to see. So I'm glad we came up here. Cool. We can go down the exit here. Let's rip. Is that one? Oh, perfect. All right, let's go back down here. So that was Wells and Monroe. So if you ever want to have a good parking spot that has a good vantage point of the L, now you know. Wells and Monroe. Looks like parking starting at $6. What I really want to get is a Suron, but the problem with those bikes are that they're just so expensive, and you know, even these bikes are expensive. You're kind of committing, a couple grand probably to these. I mean, I'm currently trying to sell my Super 73. It's a great bike. It's just not necessarily what I need it for. So yeah, but Suron, either the Light B or the Ultra B. I'm not sure which one I want to go for yet. Obviously, if you go for the Ultra B, that really takes the Light B is kind of bike-esque, but then the Ultra B is more so like electric dirt bike, and I'm not quite sure how that would go over here in Chicago, as I try to still ride in some of the bike lanes and stay out of traffic as best as I can. But I haven't quite decided on that yet. Also, there's obviously a financial commitment that goes with both of those. Clinton Street, so we're actually right here is Union Station. So if you've ever taken the Amtrak into Chicago, you've probably gone in and out of the Union Station there. Union Station's actually like a really beautiful building inside. Very cool. And that supposedly is a really great taco spot. So I didn't want to run the red light there in case somebody was coming through. Decided to make a last minute call and hang a Randy. And I always love driving past the Porsche dealership here. So many cool cars. One of the great things about this dealership is they always have cars on display out front. So it looks like they have a GT2 or GT3, a couple Macans. And then it looks like they even have a Dakar up there, which is super awesome. This a one way? No, it's a two way, but I'll just go. Yeah. Oh, a 992. Oh, yeah, that's beautiful. And then obviously the Dakar up here. Very cool building. The Porsche downtown Chicago, they're super good at being involved in the community. Downtown Chicago has a Porsche event actually every year, and they bring a lot of their cars that they have in the showroom to those events, and kind of show off and display those cars, which I think is great. Really gives people an opportunity to see the cars up close and personal, and in my opinion, it doesn't get any better than a Porsche.